All right. Good evening, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Just to make sure you can hear me, if you can just unmute yourself or send in the chat to say that you can hear me. I would appreciate that. Welcome to this edition of Emigrate Open Day. Today's edition, we're going to be doing something slightly different from what we've always done around the open days. This edition, we actually will not be having any guests, and this edition will be what we call Emigrate Open Consultation. And a little bit later, I will explain what that is. But you're welcome to this edition of Emigrate Open Day. My name is Bade Adesemowo. I'm the CTO and co-founder of Social Lender, amongst many other things, and I'll be your facilitator for this evening. Welcome again. I see your chat that you can hear me, so thank you. Welcome to the Emigrate Open Consultation session. I would mention that this edition, as with every other edition, it's being recorded. And this edition will be one of those editions where you can actually unmute yourself and ask specific questions around you. Please keep some of your private information private, because this is being recorded and we expect that many other people will watch it over time. But we decided to do something where our community members can ask questions. Yes, we have the paid private sessions, but we decided to start opening up some open consultation session where you can ask questions. And if you have specific concerns, specific questions, specific engagement or feedback, and so on that you would like to find out about, are you on the right track? Those are the kind of things we hope that we'll be able to discuss during today's session. So welcome once again to everyone joining us and those that will be joining us a little later as well. With the Emigrate Open Day session, we've had many sessions over the last couple of weeks and months. We've had exceptional talents, global talent, people like Chidema, we've had people like Eitayo, we've had people like Okoyemi, Babatunde Obasola, and several other people sharing with us their journey, helping to inspire our community and also giving information around some of the things that you may not have known existed, around things that you can do today, things that you can start doing in terms of preparing yourself, and things that you can do if you already qualify in terms of packaging yourself. Many of them give advice to each and every one of us, depending on what level we are, depending on what we are doing right now, depending on where we are today. I would encourage us to please go back, watch some of those videos, particularly those that spoke around whatever visa that you may be targeting, whatever country you may be targeting, and so on. They've given a lot of information, and it's up to you for you to go and look at those things, review them, and ensure that you take action as well. These videos are available for you to take a look at in your time and to take advantage of as much as possible. Welcome to the Emigrate Open Day. And Emigrate for us, we call it the tech-enabled pathway to relocation and settlement. There is much more to it, because what we are trying to do with Emigrate is to help you become globally attractive. There are many ways in which you can become globally attractive, but we focus on technology at Emigrate, and we focus around people that are in tech. And that's why we say we help you become globally attractive, particularly around tech profiles or tech-enabled businesses. Those are the two ways we focus on. Yes, for many of us, we came because, I'm interested in one tech-enabled visa or the other. Some of us are preparing to apply for our visas, and some of us have already applied, got rejected. Some of us are wondering, will I ever qualify? Am I on the right track to qualify, and all of that? One of the things we say is that please understand that the visa itself is only a side effect of something bigger. Many of the countries that have made things available, that have made visas available, that have asked talents to come, they are asking you to come because they want you to build their economy. And they are taking a look at you to say, what have you done in the past? What is your track record? How are you able to show that, oh, when you come, you will not add and become a burden to their social system? Instead, they want you to come, create more jobs, add more innovation, come with your own skill, be able to fill roles that are very hard for them to fill, and several other things like that. In short, they want you to come as a globally attractive personnel or bring your globally attractive business to them. And at Emigrate, we focus on different types of Emigrate services. We do a lot of things for free, but we do have a few things that are also premium as well. We do charge for our time. Some of the things we do at Emigrate includes, and these are on the free side, includes the information and inspiration. So we bring people that we consider globally attractive, people that have taken the journey that some of us are hoping to take, people that have done it a couple of months ago or a couple of years ago, and so on, for you to come, for them to come inspire you and also give you information, help share with you, oh, what did they submit? How did they go about it? How did they find out about it? What are the things that you should be doing now? And so on. We also have the Emigrate community, which is free. For now, we have the community both on WhatsApp and also on Telegram. Those communities are free. WhatsApp is a bit limited, and so we can only accommodate as many as WhatsApp allows us to accommodate. Telegram isn't as limited as well. For the free community, we are not able to host conversations all through the month. However, from time to time, we open those communities for people to interact with as well. We have the monthly open day, which is free for now to the Emigrate community. In the future, it will be a paid session, but for now, we've made it free to the community. We have introductory videos that are available for you to understand what is even applicable to me, particularly around my own profile. Recently, and this will be the first of it, we decided to also do Emigrate Open Consultation, which is what we are having today, where you can unmute yourself, tell us about your profile, ask questions around, oh, is there anything for me? Whatever question it is that you have around the open day, we believe it will work better for people that have attended one open day session or the other in the past. We also have short inquiries, private inquiry sessions. And I would say that we are only able to accommodate one short inquiry session per person. It's a 10-minute session. And so please take advantage of that as well if you find it necessary for you. However, I always would warn that please don't come to that session and ask questions like, what is Emigrate? These are things that you could have found out by simply watching one of the videos. These are things that you could have found out by doing your own research, going on Google and so on. Come to that session asking questions that is personal to you, and we will give you answers to the best of our ability. I must say that at Emigrate, generally and particularly around the open day, we are not given immigration advice, neither are we given legal advice. What we are doing is sharing from our own experience, sharing from information available to us, and helping in terms of hand-holding and so on. And so if you need to consult lawyers, please do so. If you need to consult, the law and so on, please do so. The best that we can do is to share with you with the wealth of experience of the various consultants within the Emigrate team. We also have premium services. One of them is a premium community called Emigrate Circle. It's hosted on Slack, and it's a community of people that are now ready for the journey. There's a journey to becoming globally attractive. There are things that you need to do on a regular basis. There are things that you need to have done yesterday, and so on. And this is a community that we are building around those things, people encouraging each other, and so on. We also have our personalized consultation service, where, for example, if you are ready to make your application and you need someone to do a review of your document, making sure that you've crossed the I's and dotted the T's around many of the visa categories that we will talk about, we are able to do that. If you were rejected, for example, and you need help with your appeal or endorsement review, we're able to do that with the personalized consultation. If you also need some sort of roadmap to say, oh, I'm hoping I will qualify in the next 1 year or 2 years, and oh, can I have some sort of roadmap of what should I be doing now? What are the things that will count? What are the things that do not count? What are the things that already count from the things I've done in the past, and so on? We are able to do that within this session. The standard package then combines many personalized services amongst other things as well. So things like introductions to lawyers, endorsers, and so on. Things like templates, if you need templates for some of the letters that you need to do, recommendation letters and things like that. Please don't use that template and just go and copy it word for word. Please don't do that, right? It would cost you and it may cost you. Instead, you can use it for inspiration, for you to say, oh, can I use this to, okay, then look at my own story. Everybody is unique, and you're able to write your own story. Please bear in mind that for every one of the premium packages, you also get the Emigrate Circle for free. And the Emigrate Circle comes with as many short inquiry sessions as you may need as well. Fair usage applies. My own favorite package, however, is the Emigrate Premium. It's a 1 to 2 year package where you subscribe to a journey to say in 2 years' time, I want to have moved. I want to, and so what are the things I need to start doing today for me to be able to get to that stage? And on a regular basis, on monthly basis, weekly basis, depending on what your profile requires, then you are able to get the right set of monitoring, you are able to get the right set of advice, coaching, and so on that you may need at that point. And we're able to customize our services as may be required as well. If you're interested in any of these services I've mentioned, you can simply go to bincom.net/emigrate and you can indicate your interest there. Also, you can send an email to emigrate@bincom.net, and one of the members of the team will get back to you. What are some things that Emigrate services will cover? I've mentioned some of them: general inquiry, coaching and handholding, assessment, preliminary assessment, and the final assessment before you do your own submission, self-directed roadmap to say, oh, what is a roadmap I can use to qualify in the future, and then and so on, and particularly around Tech Nation visa, French startup visa, the Canada startup visa, French tech visa, sorry, I mixed that up. And several of those, we're able to dive into those applications and ensure that you are able to qualify. We cannot guarantee you a visa, I must mention that. However, we can guarantee that if you do some of these things, because it's a principle, if your profile is globally attractive, you have options. You can choose to stay in Nigeria, you can choose to stay in Africa, you can choose to stay wherever you are, or you can choose to also relocate, because you have different options and you will find out that everybody wants you. We do have other services within the Bincom Dev Center that you may also be interested in. For those of us that are just starting our journey in tech, 2 years experience, 3 years experience, one of the things you will find is that you need the right set of skills, exposure, and experience for you to be able to qualify for some of the things that we are talking about. And so we have something called the Bincom Global Tech Program. And what that program does is it helps you to learn skills, to gain experience, and also to gain exposure in the field of technology. It's a 1 to 2 year program as well. It costs 1.2 million naira. However, the company is able to do something called Learn Tech Now, Pay Later, which is an income sharing agreement. And what that does is that you will only start paying back the company at the point when you start earning income, in the high income in the field of technology. One more thing around this program is that the Emigrate Premium that I mentioned a few moments ago actually comes with this program as well. Next one is the Bincom Mentoring Program. And these are for people that already have 5 years, 10 years experience in the field of technology. Many people need mentoring. Many people need mentorship. But you are not just doing it because you are giving back. The truth is that one of the ways that you can show yourself as globally attractive at that level is for you to be a part of a formal mentoring platform. So it can't just be that, oh, I mentored some of the employees I worked with. It can't be that I mentored some of my colleagues. It has to be a formal mentoring platform. And that's what we've created within Bincom. And those are things that you can also submit as part of your profile in terms of some of the things that you have done outside your day-to-day work. For us as Emigrate, we are currently focused on just tech. In the future, with more partners coming on board, we may be doing more than just tech, but at this point, we are focused on tech and particularly tech-enabled visas. You need to be passionate about what you do. If you're not passionate about tech, it would be more or less like a waste. It will be very frustrating for you. And when I say tech, I'm not just talking about the technical side of tech. It can also be the business side of tech, project management, digital marketing, several other skills along that line, not just the technical side, product management, service management, and several others. And even the investment side of tech now is already getting some recognition as well. So of course, if you have money in the first place and you have enough money, you may not even need this pathway that we're talking about right now. But if you have just maybe $50,000, $60,000, something like that, you can actually become an investor, and then you can get things like the innovator visa and so on. And then, of course, if you work with some of those kinds of companies, there are also opportunities for you. You have to be interested in attaining global mobility, because if you are not, then you would be wasting you'll be wasting your time. There are other pathways. Don't forget that. It's not only tech pathways that exist, but tech is one of the ones that are currently very easy to do, particularly if you have the right combination, particularly if you are the talent that you said you are, particularly if you are focused on the right things at the right times. How did this start for us? For Emigrate, it started for us because we were trying to solve a challenge that we had internally. And that challenge was the fact that some people that worked with us, many in fact, did not see themselves as the talent that they were. And a lot of times when we say to them, oh, you could qualify for this in 1 year if you do this, or you could do this, and you are able to do this other thing, right? They don't believe it. Sometimes because of how Nigeria has been, sometimes the way we've been brought up to look down on ourselves, to look down on the skills that we have, to look down on the opportunities that we have, to realize that some opportunities are not just for us. And those are things that we are trying to disabuse our minds from, to realize that, oh, you can actually target this. You can actually get this. How is it going? Information, and these are some of the things that we do. Information, like this information session we're having, an open consultation we're having. We're also doing coaching, handholding, strategy, consultation, advisory, and we're also building a community around this. As I mentioned around today's session, our focus in today's session is going to be around open consultation. And what we'll be doing is that we will just, if you have questions and so on, you can unmute and speak and ask those questions. I would say again that this session is being recorded and it will be available on the internet for a long time. So please don't share private information as much as possible and so on. But if you do want to take advantage of this session to ask any pertinent question that you've always had or you wish you could, please go ahead and you'll be able to ask shortly. For some of us, this slide is something that you should take note of and you could probably Google. If you're not familiar with some of these visas that are listed on this screen, then you've not even really started. You are not really interested. You just say to people that you are interested. You should get familiar with what are their requirements, what is their policy, what are the ones I can target, what is it about, what is the French tech visa, why is it there, why do they need it, what is the freelance or digital nomad visa, what is that about, what is the innovator visa, what is the Tech Nation visa, which is really the global talent visa for people in digital technology, but short form Tech Nation visa. You should know what those things are. You should know what the requirements are. You should know the ones you are able to target. And for some people, you may want to take a screenshot of this one because you can go back and do some research around it. All right, I should just mention around that there are different visa types available depending on what you are doing at the moment and depending on what you are focused on. But there are two that we sort of broke it down into. Tech-enabled profile, which is you as an individual. You can target things like the UK Global Talent Visa. And this is just the UK. You can also look at many other countries as well. UK Global Talent Visa, and there are two types. There's the Exceptional Promise and the Exceptional Talent Visa. We've had guests speaking about this visa over the months, and you can go watch some of the videos. We had a guest just last 2 weeks or so talking about this visa. We have the UK skilled worker route now, which is open, and there are some requirements for each one of these visas. Then for you as a founder, you have the startup visa, which is an entry point. All you need to do really is just to get an endorsement, and you are probably able to get the startup visa, but it does not have a pathway to settlement because it's just a landing point for you to come to the UK. And then from there, you can do other things as well. You have the UK Innovator Visa. So you go to the UK with the Innovator Visa, and in 3 years, you are able to get what we call the ILR, which is the indefinite leave to remain if you go to the UK on the UK Innovator Visa. The point is that there are several of these that are available depending on what your profile is, depending on what your background is, depending on some of the things that you have done in the past, and so on. I thought to just point this out for some of our members of our audience and our community who are targeting, for example, the Tech Nation visa. There have been a few changes that happened in June and July 2021 that you should be aware of. One of them is the fact that one of the ones that let me see the one. Yes, so mandatory criteria, letter of reference from an immediate colleague is not sufficient. So you can't just submit a letter from one of your colleague at work to say, oh, this person is exceptional talent, so therefore give him exceptional talent visa. That is not sufficient, and they've clarified that as part of the things that they've done. They also clarified that mentoring, that letter of reference alone is not sufficient evidence for mentoring. You need to be able to show much more than just a reference letter from your mentee to say this person mentored me. You need much more than that. And these are changes that are going on that you need to keep abreast of as well. You will see that there's a trend going on with some of these changes, and these are things you should probably also think about as well. So yes, welcome everyone to the open consultation. And so we could use a show of hand to yes, so I'll stop sharing my screen now, and if anyone wants to ask questions or speak or anything like that, or you can either do a show of hand and then I can make you a co-host and you would be able to ask your question and we can discuss it. All right, so I see one person. You will need to switch on your video, however. I'm sorry. Sorry, I forgot to mention that. So please, if you need to do that quickly, you need to switch on your video, and we'll be making you co-host now. Okay. All right, good afternoon, or good evening, or good morning, depending on where you are in the world. How are you doing?
I'm fine.
Yeah.
So I'm a leader at the startup visa, and I have a passion for product management.
Okay.
Ever since university, I've been trying to develop some projects. I started trying to do web design, but it wasn't for me.
Okay.
So I was more into the side. We did some projects really quick up, and then along the line I got a job with 9-10.
Okay.
I worked with them for 4 years.
Okay.
Prior to
Hey, so for engineering firm, did you mean software engineering or actual engineering, electrical, chemical?
Electrical, civil, electrical part.
Electrical engineering firm, okay.
Yes. So now I want to go into product management. I have a team of developers who want to develop the game. And I wanted to find out, could I add my previous years before I got the job or after school, also as the profile? And then what's the best way to start this career of product management so that I could be eligible for the part of visa?
Okay. All right then. So for the startup visa for both the UK and Canada, the only thing you require is a letter of endorsement for your company, right? And how you get that is that you would approach a bunch of people that each one of those governments. So let's focus on UK anyway. There are a number of companies that the government in the UK has said that, oh, if any one of these companies endorse you, you will be able to get the startup visa in the UK. So the work you're actually doing is not so much around building more of your skill than to be able to have a company that has maybe some sort of traction, but around startup visa in the UK, you don't need as much traction really. They just need to like your idea, like the innovation. They need to like you as a founder because they are looking at people that are able to build, right? Usually it shouldn't be just one founder. It should be maybe two, one person focused on the business side, one person focused on the technical side. The idea has to be innovative. So you can't just say that I'm doing the same thing that everybody in the world is doing. It has to be innovative. Recently as well, the idea has to be a product-led innovation. So it can't be so much around you just doing consultation and doing IT consulting. Over time, what the UK and many of these governments are looking at is for things that can scale, that you can do in the UK, and then you can take to Canada, take to France, take to Europe, take to everywhere else in the world. So it has to be something that can scale along that line. So yeah, what you're looking for is that endorsement from any one of those endorsers. Some of these endorsers would have like open application cycles, sometimes twice a year, sometimes 3 times a year, and so on. Some endorsers are universities, so you can only get their endorsement if you went through their university. And of course, they don't give every one of their students as well the endorsement. Some endorsers, you would have to go through their own course, right? So they create like different kinds of programs where you can do like their own startup school for 3 months or 6 months and so on. You pay them for that, and then they are able to give you an endorsement. So it depends as well. That's for the UK. For Canada, right? The Canadian one is very interesting because there are fewer endorsing parties. But if you get that endorsement, you actually automatically qualify for permanent residency in Canada. You won't get the permanent residency immediately. You will first get a temporary residency for 1 or 2 years or thereabout, and then right after you will get the permanent residency. But the gates in that one too is similar, which is that you need to get into one of the incubators or get investment from one of the accredited investors in that in there. So I don't know if that helps.
Yeah, that helps a lot. So I understand that you have an investment of $25,000 or you get into an incubator, but most of the incubators are charging quite high rates per month.
They are targeting what?
Yeah, the incubators normally charge quite high rates, about $6,000
Yeah.
per month in Canada. So I'm wondering now, how does one get to invest
So I think since you don't get up traction, I think you should focus on the incubators rather than trying to get investment. I mean, if you already had a product that already has some sort of traction and so on, then it will make sense for you to focus on, oh, how do we start approaching investors and all of that. There's a science to that madness. It's a bit of an art, but it's also a science of some sort because the investor has to have this perception that you will be returning their money, not times 2 of their money. Typical investors are looking for times 10, times 20 of their money because they think that you will be able to scale it. Yes, right? They think that you'll be able to scale this over a period of time. They do not also mind losing the money because they are taking a bet on you ultimately, right? But you should first focus on the incubators. Then you said $6,000. Is that not a small investment for your future? If that is your future, you should think about that from that perspective, to say that if that's all it is at the end of the day, it's actually higher than that, slightly higher than that. But if that is what you need at the end of the day, maybe you should focus on that. You can also focus on trying to get in on your own merit. Of course, you should even start from that first of all, which is apply to, we call it the spray and pray approach, apply to all of them and hope for the best. However, don't just send nonsense because you have one shot at this. Put your very best foot forward. First of all, start with incubators in Nigeria. Are they even interested in you? Before you now say, oh, you are now applying in Canada and all of that, where the standards are higher, right? As CC Hub looked at you and said, oh, this thing looks interesting and all of that, this person knows what he's doing. Have you done that? Have you done several of those before you then say, oh, fine, I'm now going to spray and pray at another level, right? So that's what I would say. But if there are incubators, this is open information anyway, there are incubators that you can pay for a program and you end up getting an endorsement. They don't take everybody as well, and there are different things that you need to do along the line for you to be able to get some of those. Has that been helpful?
Very helpful. Thank you.
All right, then. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, so like I said, by show of hand, you can get on the spotlight and then we can have a conversation. You need to have your video on, however. And if you there's a hand raise feature on Zoom for those of us that may not be familiar with that. And if I see anybody whose hand is up, I'll get you on the spotlight. Anybody wants to take the stand? All right, so while we make up our mind, I can just share this with, I can just share this with Joshua. Oh, okay. Joshua, you still want to come on?
Yes, please.
All right, cool. Give me a moment. I'll share my screen and then I'm adding it to Spotlight now. Yeah. All right, go ahead.
Okay, so I want to focus on being a person of skill talent that the UK skill talent.
Yeah.
For product manager.
Mm-hmm.
So, what kind of development track are we looking at for product manager? Must it be minimum of 5 years of experience as a product manager managing project?
No, so not necessarily, right? It depends on what you are targeting. There are two before I answer that question, I just wanted to show you this since I'm already sharing my screen. This is a list. It may not be up to date, but this is a list of some of the incubators in Canada that may be of interest to you. You may want to take a screenshot of this page and then take a look at it later, but this is also in public domain anyway. Yeah, so your question around what skills should you be targeting, it depends on you. So you can't run someone else's race. You want to focus on what you are very strong at. So if it's product management is a fantastic skill to focus on and build your experience around. Now you ask that, do I need just 5 years? Do I need 5 years of experience or do I need 2 years of experience? It depends on many things. First thing that it depends on is how long have you been in the field of technology? So what they are looking at is that, are you able to add value? So if you are a few years experience, let's say 4 years experience in the field of technology or 2 years experience, if we look at your track record, does it show me a trajectory that this person will be high income earner in the future? Does it show me a trajectory that this person will become someone that will be able to add value in the future? And they are able to give you the exceptional promise visa at that point in time. But however, the Home Office requirement actually says that if you have more than 5 years experience in the field of technology, right, they have to assess you as talent, not as promise, right? But what that means is that if you have 10 years experience as a lawyer, and then you now decided after 10 years that, oh, I now want to become in tech, that is when your 2 years or 5 years are started counting. It didn't start counting at the point when you graduated from school. It started counting from the point when you got into the field of technology. I don't know if that makes sense to you. What I'm just trying to say is it would depend a lot on many things. So you have been working in the field of electrical engineering, and then you just jumped into product management, right? Your time will only start counting at the point when you jumped into tech. But then you have to then now start showing track record in the field of technology as well. So it depends on many things, and depending on, we have to drill down. You asked a different question around skills, and this is from the Tech Nation side of the different skills that you can do. You can see that it's actually categorized in the technical skills and then business skills as well. I hope that was helpful.
Very helpful. Thank you.
You're welcome. I see someone's up again, so I'm just going to take you off spotlight, and I will put spotlight. How are you doing, sir? And oh, sorry, I need to make you co-host as well. Co-host. All right. So I believe you can unmute yourself now.
Yeah, sure.
Hi, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. Good evening.
Good afternoon, good night, good morning, depending on where you are.
Okay. I live from Nigeria, Lagos, actually.
Okay.
I am trying to explore the Tech Nation Global Talent Visa. And initially, going through the requirement, it looked so like cumbersome. So, as in the requirement seems, I actually took my time to go through all of the requirement. I discovered that most of it, I have most of it.
Okay.
Most of what they require. I never knew that I could. I'm into health tech actually.
Okay.
My foundation is health tech, but I never thought I could until when I looked deeper. And so I've gathered a list of evidences of what they require, but I'm still confused on which one could be used for which category. Or so I'm stuck kind of, and I know I'll require a personalized consultation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So that's what I was going to recommend, because I mean, we'll need to start looking at some of your documents. Some of it may be sensitive and all of that. So I'm not sure this forum may be the best forum to be able to discuss that. However, I can give some general guidance. One of them is the fact that you want to put your best foot forward, right? What you're trying to show ultimately is that you are a talent. You're trying to show that when you go to the UK, you will add value to their economy. It's the same thing with the US or anywhere else as well. That's what they want to see. So if you are putting your LTech forward, then your LTech must have had some level of traction. What are you targeting? Is it exceptional promise or exceptional talent?
Promise.
Okay, so if you are targeting promise, it gets even better because you need to actually just show 2 examples. So you would not just show that LTech. You should have already done some other thing, maybe with some friends at school and things like that, but you need to show some sort of evidence, right? And it's not something you generated yesterday and then you go and apply to.
Yeah. So
it has to be track record. And that's really, really important, because what they are looking at is, if I plot the graph of the things you've done, does it show me that your trajectory is going to go upwards? Does it show me that you are going to improve the economy? Does it show me that you are going to help generate more jobs and so on? If you bring that, your innovation, to the UK, right, what will it do for that economy, right? Would you be filing patents in the UK? Do you already have patents in Nigeria? Have you already done some sort of things in whatever your home country is and so on? Those are things that they would be looking out for. And so you want to present the right document that show that. There are different categories, and you want to make sure your document tick the box across all the categories. So right now, you are allowed 10 documents. And what we usually would advise is that have 3 documents per category. So that way, I mean, some of those documents may cut across other categories as well, but have documents that tick the different categories. So if you say that you're showing that you're a leader in the field of technology, have 3 different documents that show that. And it doesn't have to be, how do I say it? It doesn't have to be 3 pages of your employment contract. You can just show the page that shows the salary. Please convert your salary to pounds or dollars or something like that before you decide that that's one of the things you want to show. So high salary in Nigeria it's not high salary in some cases. Many people in Nigeria are earning minimum wage from a UK standard. So you want to also look at some of those things in terms of what it is that you are putting forward. I don't know if that is helpful, but if you have other specific questions, I may be able to answer.
No, it's basically answered everything I need to know. I just need to get a consultation. That's it.
All right, then. And so we do have the Emigrate consultation. It's a 1-hour session. And usually what we would say before that session is basically gather everything that you believe would qualify, right? Gather all of them, put them somewhere, and then we can talk through some of those things and start looking at, okay, what fits in what and all of that. We can then advise like, oh, you qualify immediately or you need to do more work and so on.
Okay.
Some cases, some people don't mind applying. It's an investment, but it gives you some sort of feedback, right? Because the good news about the UK technician is that they will give you feedback. They will give you an analysis of your profile, right? That's if you don't qualify. If you qualify, they don't give you any analysis. They will just give you an endorsement and you move on. And you are able to use that to do some more work. It also gets better because you also get something called endorsement review. What that means is that you've already paid for 2 levels of assessors to review your work and to review what you've done, and they will give you different kinds of feedback. You can use that feedback to go in to do more work and then reapply again in 6 months or something like that. I think it went offline, but hopefully I was able to answer his question as well. So we're coming close to the end of today's session. I don't know if anybody else would like to get on the spotlight. You need to switch on your video and also you'll be able to speak. Please remember that this session is being recorded, so you can't, we'll prefer you don't share privates or anything not in public domain and so on. There's a hand raise option on Zoom, and you simply need to raise your hand. And once you do that, I will put you on the spotlight. Okay, seems I guess our job for today is more or less done. Is anybody else interested in getting on the spotlight? Anybody else interested in asking questions in today's open consultation? The next Emigrate Open Day would be on Wednesday 18th, and we'll be speaking with another global talent from the UK on the 18th of August. So she will also be sharing her journey, some of the things she supplied to apply, and so on. So please look forward to that and don't miss that as well. Okay. Anybody? I was hoping to do one more person before we call it a night. Okay, so I'll just recap what we've said for today, and then we'll call it a night. Thank you everyone for joining, and thank you for sharing your evening with us. We encourage you to take action. There's a lot of information in the public domain. The key point is take action immediately and start planning. Have some sort of roadmap that you are following. If you are targeting exceptional talent, you need to appear in newspapers. So what are you doing that is newsworthy, for example? You need to speak at events, even if it's a 5-man event, start from there. And then the bigger the event, the better as well. But start from somewhere. You need to do many things outside the course of your regular day-to-day work. You need to show that you are building the field of digital technology, not just the fact that you are building yourself. There are several things you need to do along that line. And the Tech Nation guide gives a lot of examples of things that you can do, contribution to open source, several examples along that line that you can do. And there are several of these in the public domain. I'll just mention again to say, if you need help, we are available as Emigrate to help. We charge for our time as well, but we're available to help as much as we can. A lot of things are available free of charge that you can take advantage of, but also there are things that you would need to pay for depending on what you require. General inquiry, coaching, handholding, these are several things that are available in the community. And we are also trying to build this community of people that are like mine, that are also looking at some of these pathways and so on. We hope in the future that if you're looking for a co-founder for something, you can find within this community. We hope in the future that if you're looking for advice around something or the other, you can find in the community. Somebody in my community, for example, needed to do TB test, which is something you would need if you need to go to the UK. And then it was fully booked, and we were able to ask somebody else in the community to say, how did you resolve this issue? And they were able to give advice. These are some of the things that we're trying to build. In terms of services, the ones on the left are free, the ones on the right are paid, and you can take advantage of any of them that you require depending on what it is. We advise that you start with the free things, because a lot of the things you need if you are starting are free, right? Free information and so on. But then when you drill deeper and you need more help and so on, we would be available as well to be able to help. So yeah, that being said, is there any last minute question before we call it a night? Hopefully there's nobody that is struggling with raising their hand on Zoom. All right, so thank you so much everyone for joining us for this edition of Emigrate Open Day. We hope that it's been useful for you. We hope that it's been a useful session, and we look forward to seeing you showing yourself as globally attractive. Nigeria needs it anyway. We need to do much more in terms of forex coming into the country. And so if we can export talent, that's one of the ways we can build the nation. Thank you and good night, everyone.